And
Oh, are you able to hit? There we go. Okay.
got it? Well, awesome, guys. So first off, let's just do a little bit of housekeeping. Let's go ahead and make sure that unless you're speaking, you mute yourself. And don't forget, the chat function is always there, and the staff is going to be monitoring that for us. So you are welcome to throw in there whatever you'd like, questions, comments. We will be keeping an eye on that. But let's go ahead and jump in today so we can be mindful of your time. Now, I apologize, I'm getting some things out of my way here so I can see you all. So we really wish that we could have enjoyed you all together in person today. I'm really missing seeing everybody and shaking hands and hugging necks, but I'm excited to see your faces here today because we know it's just too soon right now to gather in large crowds. So our goal today is to share some updates with you, the members, and provide an opportunity to ask questions. But first today, we want to share a statement with you from HAAR and Valley MLS. We grieve with the Floyd family and all those who are affected by this senseless tragedy. As realtors, we are community leaders that can affect change with the way we operate personally and professionally, from upholding fair housing laws to advocating for affordable and accessible housing for all. Let us all work for inclusion, equality, and the understanding that our neighbors' experiences and challenges are very rarely our own. HAAR and ValleyMLS.com will continue to work within our industry and through government advocacy to be a part of local solutions to ensure an inclusive and understanding community for all. So in the coming weeks, we're going to be talking about some new initiatives related to bias training. So keep an eye out for more info coming to you soon on that. We would love to see you all jump in and get involved. So it's been a while since we've got to see you all, February actually, since I got an opportunity to introduce our great leadership team. We know we've had a lot thrown at us this year and change for everybody, and these have been some stellar people for me to have the opportunity to work with alongside our staff to go through the changes. So I will start off, if you'll just give us a wave and a hi to y'all, please, because I know sometimes it's hard right now with faces, so let's put a voice to the name. I'll start with our president-elect, Zelda Friedman.
Hi, everybody. It's good to see you.
Thanks, Zelda. Our vice president, Tim Brown.
Hey, everybody. Good to see everyone.
And our treasurer, Monica Sanford.
Hey, everyone. It's good to see your smiling faces.
And our MLS chair, Cindy Peters-Tanner, is not going to be on the call quite yet. She's going to be jumping on later, and hopefully you'll have an opportunity to hear from her. And our CEO, Josh McFall.
Hey, everybody, thanks for being here.
And I have the honor this year of being the president. I'm Shay Jarbo for our Huntsville Area Association of Realtors, and it truly is an honor. So we're going to start off today with some industry updates. We are so excited today to thank our sponsors, Dilworth Development and Mortgage Right, for sticking with us as we've moved all of our events virtual. So much of what we do, as you know, is just not possible without the support and the energy of our sponsors. So with that, I'd like to invite Dilworth Development to provide our first industry update for us. Jeff?
Hey guys, how's it going? So good to virtually see everybody. Again, I'm sorry we can't meet in person, but you know, Zoom has been something that we as a company have really enjoyed. It's brought us in a strange way closer together. So I'm glad to see you guys here virtually. These are definitely some unprecedented, difficult times. You know, just when we think that you know nothing else can come at us, something else comes. But you know, us as people and us as an industry are strong, so we'll get through this. We don't know exactly where we'll be when all the cards are in place, but we know where we are when this started. And housing and the economy was in a very, very good place. You know, we had record numbers of closings last year, record numbers of you know, construction. We can barely keep up. And I think this will give us a pretty good indication of where we're going to be when everything does fall back into whatever the new normal is. And the good news is, our industry is not the cause of this. Unlike 2008, where every player was over leveraged, overpriced, and had far too many lots and specs. The fundamentals of our market today are sound. Through May of this year, we've experienced record job growth, population growth, household formation, in-migration, extremely low lot and home inventories, and just moderate price inflation. If you look at pending sales today versus this time last year, we are up 10%. Now, we thought last year's market was hot, but it continues on. I don't think anybody could have foreseen what 2020 has brought us. And I don't think anybody could have foreseen how we, as an industry here in Huntsville and Northern Alabama, have handled it. So I'm optimistic, and I think that we'll continue to see this growth. And as long as we stay true to our calling and stay faithful to our client and what we.
Awesome. All right, great. We appreciate it, Jeff, with Dilworth Development. Thank you again for sponsoring and for being with us today. Next, we're going to move into our next sponsor. We have Charlie Thorne with Mortgage Right, who's going to provide us with an update today as well.
Woo-hoo. So as a lot of you have seen with with the COVID-19 issues and all that trickled down from that, we saw from the mortgage side a lot of drawing back from different things that were available, drawing back from government loans while the government was trying to figure out what they were going to do or not do with regard to forbearance and any issues that we were, a lot of times we experience, a solution to one thing creates an issue with another. And so we've seen that with some of the corrective actions that have been taken. I'm happy to say that we are seeing and continue to see easing of that, where a lot of lenders retracted to higher credit scores. We have seen that has started easing, coming back, getting back to a little bit of normal, not completely where we were before. And no, we didn't start this. We didn't cause this, but the reactions to the things that we were subjected to had some effects that were not expected. And so we right now are coming out of that. I'll say, like I've said many times before, I mean, we're all very blessed to be doing what we do, where we do it. That's not necessarily the case all around the country. So I'm tickled with where we are, and just looking at the easing of the restrictions that were put in place, I think that's going to help us continue to grow the way that we have been.
Great job, Charlie. Thank you so much. Just want to say a huge thank you again to our sponsors, Jeff with Dilworth Development and Charlie and Deanne with Mortgage Right. Again, we couldn't do what we do without you guys. And when you see them, y'all reach out and say thank you. And of course, they're there to help you when you need them. So let's just go on into some of our updates. First, just a quick reminder that our statement earlier was sent out in an email to you. We'll have graphics on social media as well. So if you'd like to share that, it will be in downloadable form as well as shareable from our social media. So don't forget about that. And just want to give you a couple of updates about what's been going on. Some of it I'm going to go through quickly because I know you've probably heard some of it before, some of it not. But again, remember, we're going to have time for questions later. So as you can see today, and hopefully you saw in your emails, the board of directors has voted to move all in-person meetings for the rest of the year to virtual formats. So new and exciting for us. So that means all luncheons and happy hours are going to be held like this with existing reservations, being refunded. The 2020 Realtor Expo in October had to be canceled, and the additional free classes via Zoom will be announced in the coming weeks that we're excited to be able to provide. New orientation will remain online. It's been a great process with staff working hard on that and gone really well. And our online new member applications and online bill payments remain the same as always available. Our office downtown, as you know, is technically open to the public, but we're urging members to conduct business with staff via phone and email as much as possible, and video conferencing. But if you do need to come by, please try to make an appointment, and we definitely are asking for the preference of face masks. And when you come in, they are going to be required upon entry to the building. So these policies are in effect through July 31st, and they are aimed at keeping members and staff safe along with everyone else through all this time. So we know that even with the uncertainty related to COVID-19 and political strife that we have said at this year's gala, and honestly, it couldn't be more true right now, that we are truly made to thrive in 2020. And we are excited for our members and all the great things that we see coming out of such a different time in our lives right now. So in March, when we joined business and public leaders in our region with responsible social distancing measures, our staff and leadership worked every day to ensure that member services would keep going strong and uninterrupted. So although we're working from home, our staff kept going, held strong, and providing the members the services they needed. We created a hub for all the information and resources to our realtors at haar.realtor.com/COVID, and valleymls.com provided allowances for MLS fee extensions for 30 days for our members. Valley staff also worked overtime to bring some new enhancements and features, which we'll hear more about later from Cindy, our MLS chair. And there were countless resources made available for virtual showings and open houses. And of course, I'm sure you heard about this part, but we regularly updated our communication about assistance with the PPP and SBA loans and unemployment insurance and tax credits and all those other great pieces that were put out there to help our members. So most importantly, though, our Realtor Party RPAC advocacy team activated and went to work for us, scoring lots of major victories at all levels, especially here in Madison County. So I'd like to go ahead and invite our president-elect, Zelda Freeman, to give you more information with an advocacy and RPAC update.
Thank you, Madam President. Now for our advocacy and RPAC update. We are thrilled to report the ways our advocacy team worked for our local market and individual members over the past 3+ months in our new normal of life with COVID. Locally, our HAAR advocacy team worked with Frank Barger's probate office to ensure services would be continued for realtor transactions and closings. Judge Barger has worked tirelessly as a realtor champion in that office, and we thank him for that. HAAR has also worked with Mayor Battle, Mayor Finley, and Commissioner Strong directly to ensure that any local decisions made in stay-at-home orders would deem Madison County real estate companies as essential businesses. Our local political coordinator program went on uninterrupted, and we remain on schedule to have realtors working with all local officials one-on-one by September as previously scheduled. And just this week, we got some really great news. We secured an announcement from Mayor Finley's office that impact fees are now completely off the table and will not be revisited. Yay! That is awesome news right there. That is great. In Montgomery, the state association lobbied Governor Ivey's office to deem real estate essential at the state level and allow for online and remote notarizations. And in Congress, NAR lobbied federal leaders and the White House to include programs like the PPP, expanded unemployment insurance, and SBA loans in federal legislation to COVID. We're going to work harder to demonstrate the value of RPAC and everything it does to fight for our industry at every level, many times behind the scenes. And if you're interested and you want to invest in RPAC, please email Alan Reese at alan@valleymls.com, and Alan spells his name ALAN, and then at valleymls.com. That's it, Madam President.
Thanks, Zelda. I appreciate it. That's a great update. Y'all, if you're not familiar with RPAC or have questions, reach out to Zelda or any of our team, and we'll be happy to talk with you and let you know more about what it's all about and some of the things that we've worked with and help promote or actually help keep from happening that affect our community and home ownership. So next, I'm going to call on our Vice President, Tim Brown. He's going to give us an education and outreach update.
All right, thank you, Madam President. First of all, I want to thank everyone who took advantage of the free trainings and CE classes during the month of April and May. Those classes filled up quicker or faster than any ones that we've ever had before. A special thanks goes out to Mike Sandoval. He's our professional development manager for working nonstop to develop these classes. He learned new systems and helped members take advantage of the very strange time that we're in right now. Staff is also working hard to create an educational catalog that will summarize our virtual education offerings for the rest of the year, as well as in 2021 when we can hopefully resume in-class or in-person classes. Remember to check the following outreach channels: the weekly newsletter, Facebook, and HAAR.realtor for updates. Specifically, check HAAR.realtor/COVID, the news and twos regarding the pandemic. That's it for me, Madam President.
Thanks, Tim. Great job. Yeah, we are really excited for how well the online CE and other education classes are going. Really excited that that was able to happen this year, and kudos to Mike and all the staff for putting that in place for us. It's been great for our members and had great feedback. Next, we're going to move on to our MLS update. Cindy, have you been able to make it in with us yet?
She's not made it, Che.
Okay. Well, I will go ahead and dive into some updates then to let y'all know on her behalf, and let you know about some updates, several actually, that we have had to Paragon in May. So first, a redesign of the room structure input that helps you provide the most accurate information for your clients. Next is virtual showings that has been enhanced to allow consumers to choose their preferred agent and video platform when requesting a remote visit. Mobile home and proposed construction labels, those have been updated, so keep an eye out for that. Data market will no longer accumulate during coming soon status, so agents will no longer have to update that field. I know that's one we've heard a lot about and are excited about. And Valley has automated the data licensing process, which makes it faster and more reliable. So if you have any questions or need more information, please reach out to, of course, leadership, staff, or see larger explanations for each one of these at HAAR.realtor in our news sections. And I know Cindy hated that she's not able to be back with us yet, but hopefully we'll get to jump in later and say hi. So we just want to go ahead and kind of wrap things up. Thank you again to our sponsors, Dilworth Development and Mortgage Right. We want to give you an opportunity to be able to ask our leadership team, and we've got a couple of our staff here, questions too, that we can help you with today, but be it in your business or things that may be going on at the association. So I'm just going to open the floor up for questions or comments.
Hey, can I ask Charlie? I have a question for Charlie Thorne.
Yes.
Charlie, so one of the things we're talking to the National Association about related to mortgage funding is about the amount of money that went into the PPP loan and the CARES Act program, and some of that money that would have typically gone to funding mortgages. So RPAC is currently lobbying in Washington related to making sure to secure mortgage funding. Can you talk to us a little bit more about what your company may be hearing locally related to brokering mortgages? I know that some companies changed requirements, some products went away or changed, some jumbo loans we heard were unfunded. So anything you could talk to us about that? I know you mentioned it earlier, but just anything from a local company that we could hear.
Okay, certainly. So the things that went away, or the restrictions that we experienced, and some that we are still experiencing, are not so much, realistically, are not so much for the lack of funding, so to speak, as it is well, I say that it all comes down to funding ultimately, but what happened was a lot of the things that were going full speed ahead, we hit a spot that we didn't know what was going to happen, how it was all going to play out. And so you immediately saw a lot of the investors, and when I talk about investors, I'm talking about the larger companies that are buying servicing rights and mortgages. One thing that hit them really hard that made them draw back on was the talk of the forbearance option, where the buyers, the clients, the borrowers were not going to be required to make their payments. But yet the investors or the lending institutions still had to make the payments to the investors. So that created a problem as quick as it fixed one, because it only addressed part of the issue. And so ultimately, we start looking at the sellability of loans. We look at several things personally. We look at, one, is it a good loan? Are we going to get paid back? Can we get the money back? The next avenue then is it a marketable asset? Or is it something that only we would do and only we would keep, and we would be tying our money up and our resources up for long term? I have been known to tell people that we basically trade baseball cards. And a mint condition baseball card brings a premium. And one that's been dog-eared and uncared for or less desirable, you may sometimes have to pay somebody to take it. And so that's very much the way the mortgage industry works. Is what everybody is clamoring for is the cream of the crop that yields the best return, that's in the best condition. And so a lot of the stuff everybody pulled back to the four basic food groups. Four main food groups that we live with are the FHA, the USDA, the VA, and the conventional. And a lot of the other stuff drew back. We saw this in 2008 really heavily. We saw a lot of things go away, and then we started seeing them in the last few years come back. We saw this was a quick draw up and score increases, requirement increases, and everybody was just looking to protect that position. As far as how much actual liquidity from the government standpoint, what may have been diverted to PPP loans that could have been into mortgage backed, that's something yet to be really dug into.
It's something that the National Association is talking with Congress about continually. So Sean and Daniela have been monitoring that, I know, from an advocacy perspective, and something that we know that RPAC is specifically concerned about down the road. And so if you have any of those updates or any of the mortgage partners, that you can share that info locally of what you hear so that we can kind of be on the cutting front of that. Shay, can I ask one more follow-up for Jeff?
Yes, go right ahead.
So in relation to kind of Charlie, piggyback on that with your, with the amount of communities that y'all are developing and what's going on with that, have you seen any changes to funding related to that? Or are you saying you kind of, in your report, you said that you were kind of ramping up more. So is it directly related to what Charlie's talking about, or is it just kind of what you already had in the books, had planned?
It's a little bit of both. That's a great question. So, we are ramping up just as planned, number one, but number two, we still feel really bullish about this market. So, we're kind of doubling down where some people are pulling back. We see this as a great time to move forward. When people walk out the door, sometimes it's a really good time to come on in. As far as the biggest issue that I've seen with lending right now is some lenders' access to construction loans. So we started to see that pullback, and Charlie alluded to that specifically when he started to talk about, some of the government stuff pulling back. Construction loans aren't necessarily tied to that, but as those pulled back, some of the construction loans, especially on the jumbo side, did. But we're also starting to see those come back now. So, to answer your question, yes, we saw a slowdown. Did we plan on slowing down? We took a good look at the market, and with all the research that was available to us and current market conditions, maybe going forward. I hope that answers your question.
That definitely does, because new construction obviously is powering our historically low inventory, and so we saw the inventory take a huge dive because our April sales numbers were better in the lockdown than they were in regular times in 2019, which is just exactly what both of you were saying. So thank you for that direct insight. Shay, thanks for letting me hijack that for just a second, because I had
great questions. It's neat to see how it all lines up and to put all the pieces together. That's what's neat about us being able to do these. And I actually think a great part of this virtual piece is that we get to see the full circle. We put all those pieces together instead of just seeing our perspective of it. So that's great, guys. That's awesome info. So MLS, we know we get a lot of MLS questions. Talk to us about what you're using, tools, any new tools that we've put out that have really worked for you. Give us your feedback on what's going on out there in the field when you're working with your clients and using some of these tools. Don't be shy to speak up, y'all. We can't hear you, Matt. I'm sorry.
My apologies.
Okay.
The thing about Mayor Finley, tabling the impact fees, is that public yet? I didn't see it online in any publications, and I didn't know whether or not we could actually share that yet, or if that's still, a public matter yet.
Okay, I'll let Sean or Josh speak to that since they directly had that.
Direct communication with the office, so I'll let him take that
one. Say that one more time, Matt.
Is it public yet? Can we share it with people? Or is it something where it's not public yet? Because there's been no media coverage
about
of that yet.
The impact fees.
Yeah, being tabled.
Yeah. So they're going to basically the mayor's office has prepared a recommendation for the city council, and they're going to address that on Monday at their city council meeting.
I just didn't know whether it was official or not, so I didn't want to jump the gun and say
yeah, no,
anything.
I appreciate you asking. They've so it's that's the assurance that we've received from their office, and barring any mutiny from the city council, we should have some good official news to report on Monday.
Yeah, great question, Matt. And Sean and them are great about getting that out quickly for us too. So keep an eye out on social media, and of course the weekly report and emails for more about that. Great question. Anyone else? So nobody's using any of our new tools?
We're all loving them. That's what it is.
So I just have to give a little shout out to HomeSnap. I'm out in the middle of nowhere, but somehow, some way, HomeSnap hooks up to where I'm able to go in there and find agent and get their contact information, so I can still do it on my phone while I'm trying to text and email these people that have called me and left messages. Yeah, HomeSnap, good little tool.
That's awesome. Yeah, I agree, Monica. It's one of my favorites, I think, because it simplifies what I do a lot of times when I'm in a hurry, especially, and we do a lot in a hurry a lot of times. So it is definitely a great piece for us. How is it going out there in the field with your clients? Are you seeing a lot of change out there? Are you getting new questions? Are we having hard conversations?
From the new we're seeing a lot of we're still seeing a lot of strength and confidence in our customers. Now we are getting the questions from everybody. Hey, how is the market in general? And we do have to have the same talk that we're having right now with our customers. But consumer confidence, at least from my experience, is up and solid.
That's great. Yeah, we've heard a lot of great feedback about the statistics in our economic report we use. And I think it's helpful for people to see that and see the past reports too, to get the full picture of what's going on and helping bring an understanding of our market. It is very different than what we've seen in the past in an exciting way.
Yeah, Shay, one of the things that I've noticed with my buyers here lately, if they're a local buyer that are going up into and they're moving up, they're willing to go ahead and build those homes without any contingencies. And without even bringing it up to me, they figure if they don't sell their home, they will be able to take advantage of the rental market, which is, offering prime as well. So yeah, consumer confidence is super high right now.
That's awesome. That's always great to hear. How are y'all with the resources that we've been putting out? Is that helpful? The information we've been getting out there through COVID, and of course resources from the state and national levels as well. They've been putting out. Is there any questions y'all have about any of that? I know in some cases we're tired of saying COVID, and it's been a fast, hard change for us in our market as far as using tools differently or more often than we did before. But I think the exciting piece is we have seen so many people jump in and use tools they've never used before and talk about how well they've worked for them, and people creating new ways to do things that work well for them. I think it's a push for us into the future. Looking at new ways to handle things down the road. It's exciting to me to see this change that we've gone through. So I hope y'all are feeling that too.
I'm gonna say from an outside perspective, I think HAAR's handled everything really well. We've seen some other MLS systems not handle it as well. So we got to I think credit where credit's due. You guys have done a really good job at keeping everybody informed, in the loop, and then also addressing this with the gravity that is required. So good job.
Well, we appreciate that, Jeff. I know our staff works so hard to keep everything as it needs to be and stays on top of it for our members. And we love hearing the good feedback, but we also know that sometimes we need that constructive criticism or just things that are working or not working for y'all. So never hesitate to let us know if there's something that you're needing or if there's something that's not working well. And let us look into it and see if there's anything we can do, because the MLS and the association are here to support you all and help hopefully make your job easier and give you the info that you need, the factual info that you need to educate those consumers out there. So hopefully we get to hear from all of you, the good and the things that aren't so great sometimes about that. It's very helpful to us be able to provide the service we do.
Shay.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on, number one, what do we lack on meeting goal with RPAC, and any idea of what we're going to do to try to do that since we're not meeting?
Yeah, so it's very different because we usually have a somewhat of, I want to say, a plan. We change up how we do it, but a plan of how we reach that goal. And I'll let Sean speak to where we are on that goal right now. Where's Zelda? I'm sure y'all have those updates for us.
Yeah, Zelda, do you mind if I? Okay. So with our internal math, every pledge that we took in on that major investor event, we're at 90% of the goal still, which is basically either just below or just above 10,000 to the goal. I forget exactly. The monthly reports that we get from the state association don't account in for those pledges towards our goal. So the state says we're 71% of the way. I've talked to Alan and triple checked with him, and with all the pledges we've taken in, we're actually up to 90%. So as far as our plans, we're actually working this week to get an RPAC website page up on our website that kind of speaks to the strengths, the legislative victories that we've had over the past couple of years, and then just kind of an online page that thanks all of our major investors, like we have in the hallway there. So look out for an email from me asking you for a headshot. And we're also going to have some online forms there that make it easier, so people don't have to come to the office or call Alan. They can just go to the website. We're going to start an email campaign to try and get those folks that maybe don't want to become a major investor, but they'd like to give a little bit more than their fair share. So to kind of start kind of a grassroots campaign to get that goal together before, so we're not scrambling in December or anything like that.
What's our participation percentage?
I can check right now.
While he's checking that, I'll just say that we've seen from a leadership team perspective through Zelda's leadership and really the entire leadership team of our advocacy efforts, never before at a time have we seen our members be more engaged in advocacy than it was around COVID, to make sure that we were essential, that we were included in PPP loans, SBA loans, and unemployment. So for all of you who are on the ground working with other agents and talking about this, the updates that Shay and Zelda and Tim and Cindy and Monica gave today are so imperative that we share that story, to Sean's point, because all of those were direct relationships to RPAC's relationship, whether it be in Washington and Montgomery or here in Madison County.
Yeah, just to kind of echo that, I mean, that first week that we were all working from home and checking on, whether or not real estate was going to be an essential service at the state level, at the local level. I mean, Josh got on the phone with Frank Barger, took his call, made sure everything was working correctly. We had a subscriber to Valley who actually wrote in and saying that they were experiencing problems in another county. I got on the phone with Frank Barger. He immediately reached out to his colleagues in another county and set them straight. So it's pretty cool to, just to see, the fruits of everybody's labor and everybody's support of RPAC, because, it's because of that support that we can tell these stories and, just kind of promote that value to members, so we can keep kind of building that support. And, we're about to start up the candidate interview process again for the municipal elections. We're still working on help for Jess Henry Malone and Tom Brandon for those runoff elections on July 14th. So we're going to send out, reminders to, how to access an absentee ballot and, in case you don't want to vote in person. So, it looks like we're at 1,012.
Yeah, 39% participation, Jenny, there.
Mm-hmm. And I want to give a big kudos to not just staff, but to our members. Relationships are huge in this, and because of boots on the ground relationships and relationships that staff have with community leaders and our leadership team, that's a big part of why we're able to make these connections, find out about these things happening, and actually have a voice in what's going on. So thanks to you, the members, for that as well, for bringing us that information back and sharing those connections with us. That's a big part of the advocacy pieces, those relationships that we have in the community. And I think one of the most exciting things for me this year, knowing it's a CE year, has been the online education. We are used to doing online education in general, but getting the opportunity to do CE and online education more through HAAR and Valley has been very well received throughout our membership. Anybody here have any input? Have you been taking any of our online classes that have been taught or CE courses that were taught? They've packed up pretty quick, and we're getting good responses, but we'd love more feedback, and just know that more of that is to come as well.
I did the broker risk management. Mike did one of the best jobs of any broker risk management I've taken, and I've taken a lot of years of them.
That's awesome. We will pass that along to him. He's put a lot of time and effort into it, and Mike is so knowledgeable, and we're very, very fortunate to have him, and that's going strong. Tim, any input on that end of things you would like to say? I mean, just kudos to everybody on the education side.
No, I would just like to, again, commend Mike for the fantastic job that he's doing, and his people that's helping him, and the committee that's helping him, and to the entire staff. They're doing a wonderful job during this season. Mike, Sean, Daniela, Abby, everybody, they're all working hard together. Kudos to Josh as well for leading the staff.
Thank you. We have the best people around, y'all.
Thanks, Tim.
We do. We really do. We are blessed with our staff, and combine that with our amazing members, y'all. We are a great group doing great things, and we're excited about that. So keep your eye out for more education coming to you. Mike's working on a list. We're working on getting other instructors to come on and help with that. Anything you would like to see in that education pipeline coming out? Any specific classes?
Another avoiding violations.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, as y'all see a need, reach out to Mike. I believe it's Mike at valleymls.com. Is that correct, Josh? And let him know if there's something you're interested in. He's always looking to see what our members are looking for from an education standpoint, and to get that in
They're
place.
finalizing, I think, the plans for the summer, the Zoom classes. So when those are available, I'll watch the report to come out for those.
Perfect. Well, I'm excited to see those, and I hope y'all are too. Well, are there any other questions for us or feedback, be it MLS or association?
Shay, I would just like to send another shout out to Miss Katie. I noticed our finance director, because without the finances being in order, out of order or in order, we would have a pretty bad situation on hand.
Absolutely.
So thank you, Miss Katie, for all that you do.
Thank you, Tim. I appreciate that.
Yeah, we've got a great team with Katie and Alan, and Monica's doing a great job this year as our treasurer, and it's not a small task, and we're coming up on budgeting season. So we know there's going to be lots of great things to come. It's scary always projecting out for the future, but we have got a great, strong team in our finance committee to set us on a great path as usual for the upcoming year. So excited to see that down the road. Anyone else have any questions or anything for us today? Well, seeing none, I just want to tell y'all again how much I appreciate your time today and for joining us. Our next regular meeting would have been Burritt, and as much as we hate to not be able to be there, we still are going to plan something quite big for you, though be it virtually. Don't forget, that's one of our great meetings. It's going to come on August 6th. And that's the meeting where we get to pick our Realtor of the Year and our Affiliate of the Year. So watch for the emails coming out about that and how you can submit names for those. That's always an exciting meeting that we'll have. We are lining up some great speakers for that day to bring you lots of info. And again, this is going to be a virtual membership meeting. So feel free to bring that lunch and drink in and sit down and kick back and relax with us that day. We're excited to have it. And we're excited that you're with us today. We appreciate everything y'all are doing out there. We hope you know that you can reach out to staff and our leadership anytime. We are here for you to hear your needs and to let us know things that we may need to make some tweaks to. But we just appreciate you and your time today, and we hope to be able to see you soon.
Shay,
Yes.
did we announce the food trucks?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's right.
All Tim.
Good reminder that tomorrow night we're the sponsor of food trucks. So twice this month, downtown Huntsville, socially distant food trucks.
Mm-hmm.
So go out and support and local businesses. Those food trucks. They'll be all around downtown.
Absolutely.
Night, and then in 2 weeks again, and then every third Friday the rest of the summer.
Will we be putting something out on the dates for that, Josh? So everybody will be able to...
I'll make sure we put something out. Yeah, I know it's on our social media channels. We'll try to push something out again too. Thanks for that reminder, Tim.
Great catch, Tim. A great opportunity. Go out and try some of those amazing food trucks. Hopefully we'll get to see you there Friday evening, and hope to see you all soon, guys. Take care.
Thanks,
Bye.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.